childcare has been quite a significant public policy debate in the UK in recent years for exactly the same reasons as it has been anywhere else. And one of the real problems, well, there's a number of problems. One is that it is just very expensive to provide uh, effective childcare to people who want it, even if we think that is worth spending the money on. Um, but it's also turned out to be the case that although it's clearly an important economic issue, because it makes a real difference to the ability of women in particular, but families with young children to work, um, it tends not to poll as well as a huge number of other economic support policies that one might put in place. And I guess the most obvious reason for that is that although it's very important for people who are at that moment in their life, that moment in their life doesn't last for all that long. So if you're looking at a cohort of people who have kids aged, say, 1 to 4, that's a critical period. But they're not aged 1 to 4 for very long. So that sort of niche is nothing compared to support for pensioners, for example, who will stay in that situation for these days 30, 40 years needing support. I mean, I'm very conscious that when my children finished childcare, that was in effect the biggest pay rise I've ever had in my life, because I suddenly stopped paying out vast sums of money that I'd been paying, but it wasn't a pay rise as such. So that made a big difference to me, but I was part of a teeny weeny cohort that would happen every year. Big economic impact, but just an inability on the part of politicians, including politicians who, to be fair, were talking about it and wanted to talk about it, to make that the sort of political issue that we might think it deserves to be. And is that an issue for the left in America, that not getting people to care about it as much as perhaps they should?
Yes, absolutely. And I think you're right that there are only a limited number of people advocating for this issue at all times. One thing that I think, if I were to really go out and campaign on this, you can show that having subsidized childcare does provide an overall boost to the economy, right? Having more people in the workforce, having people being able to pursue higher quality jobs, it lifts everyone. But unfortunately, in the US, and it sounds like in the UK as well, we don't tend to see it as a community issue. We tend to see it as, oh, well, that's just that parent's problem. And I think when you couple that sort of, that disinterest in helping others with this very embedded notion that women should really be in the home caring for children, um, it goes from apathy to an almost antipathy toward funding childcare. And so you'll get responses that I don't think you tend to hear about other social services. People saying, why would I pay for somebody else's kids? Those aren't my kids. Why am I, subsidizing your career, et cetera? And not only is that a cruel way to think about families, it's also just for the broader economy. It's completely backwards. And I think we've been completely incapable of conceptualizing that, the impact it would have for families, but for all of us.
Well, and also every day you pay for roads that you don't drive on, right? Like why when it comes to humans are you are you like, I'm drawing the line?
Right. I mean, we pay for we pay for public schools. We pay for military. God knows what. I couldn't tell you what's in the latest U.S. military spending bill. We pay for subsidies for Elon Musk's for his SpaceX stuff. We're a huge economy, and this is one thing that we get. Hang on, guys. Okay, what's going on? Okay, sorry. I just got a big pop up. I'm going to say that again. We're a huge economy. And the fact that this is only, this is one issue that we get very culturally conservative about, I think really speaks to the fact that we're talking about women and not everyone wants women to work.